94.3 The Dude is very grateful to our men and women in uniform. We're proud to recognize local members of our military by turning the spotlight on them right now in our Soldier Salute.
Welcome to the Soldier Salute. I'm your host, U.S. Marine veteran Ethan James, and today we're going to be talking to the State Commander for the Veterans of Foreign Wars of South Carolina and U.S. Air Force Retired Master Sgt Robert Holsclaw. Robert, thanks for being in the call-in with me today. Thanks so much for your service. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your time in the United States Air Force.
Well, I moved to Charleston, South Carolina in 1970. Matter of fact, the way I got in the Air Force, I had a friend come home. He was a Marine. He came home and kept after me to enlist me in the United States Marines. It's a funny story. He took me over to the recruiter station one day, and the recruiter was out, so I stepped down the hall and joined the Air Force. I loved every minute of it. I would do it over again in a heartbeat. I spent 20 years then as a C-141 crew chief, and I flew all over the world, and I've seen places I'd never seen without joining the service, and I would do it again tomorrow if they'd let me.
You're a big-time officer statewide for the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Tell me about where that journey began.
I joined the VFW back in 91 after Desert Storm. As a matter of fact, the reason I first joined, Mom wanted to join the auxiliary. Helped out in the VFW post a lot, and she couldn't join. So I joined the VFW so she could join, and I did not become a full-time member until I moved back home in 2005.
Oh, okay.
And then I became post commander in 2006 and was post commander for 3 years, and I started my journey from there, and I've loved every minute of it.
Being a crew chief in the Air Force, you must have seen so many different places all over the world. Tell me about some of those places that you got to visit.
Kuwait. I was in Desert Storm. When I went to Desert Storm, I served in Kuwait. I served in Saudi Arabia. One of my best deployments, got deployed to Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, man, I loved Australia. What'd you do?
I went over there, Auckland, New Zealand. We were carrying some special forces around for an exercise. It was a great time. A lovely country, real amazing people. We landed in New Zealand, and we were letting people on the airplane to see if they'd never seen a 141.
That is too cool.
And these people come out and they're talking. The next thing I know, man, we got a dinner invitation, and we ate dinner with his family and became friends with them, and it was really nice. They were really super people.
I actually haven't had the opportunity to interview many Gulf War veterans. Tell me about what you did during the Gulf War serving in the Air Force.
I deployed to Saudi Arabia at first, Tobar Towers, and I was just a normal crew chief there, and then I went down to Riyadh. I became the maintenance superintendent at Riyadh. After I left, I came back, and I was a member of the 621st Air Mobility Wing at McGuire Air Force Base, or Air Mobility Squadron, and we deployed back to Kuwait, and I was the maintenance superintendent at Kuwait for a long time. I just overseen my maintenance troops, helping take care of my people and get the aircraft in and out and off the ground in a timely manner.
Robert, thanks so much for being here on the call-in with me today. State Commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars for South Carolina. What are some of the challenges that the VFW is facing right now amidst the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, the VFWs are having a challenge right now. As you know, being a younger veteran, the VFW's always had a challenge in the past couple of years recruiting new members, and we tried to turn it into more of a family organization. The VFW is not a place where you just go drink and hang out. You know, we want people to understand that we do stuff in the community for the veterans. They have a relief fund. They give out scholarships to students. We give money from unmet needs to people in need. We help active duty. They buy phone cards and all for people deployed so that they can talk to their families. Also, right now, the biggest challenge is people can't hold their post meetings. They're just now opening back up. They can't get people into their posts to let them know what programs the VFW is doing, and it just presents a challenge right now for membership.
I've followed you guys on social media a lot, and I'm noticing that even amidst the pandemic, your numbers are steadily going up. You're trying to get to 100%?
As of today, matter of fact, I checked it this morning right before you called. We need 499 members to reach 100%. We're at 96.53 right now, and we have several posts in the state that are over 100% of members. It's a challenge, but comrades are coming around.
Robert, just because you fly high in the sky, it doesn't mean that you're always safe. Even you have felt the loss of a fellow service member. Tell me a little bit about your friend.
All right, like I said, I was at McGuire. I got a phone call from a friend one day, so the 141 was missing, and they were wondering who the crew chief was on board. And I went back to work the next day and found out I was deploying. I ended up deploying to South Africa. I got there, knew that a 141 had crashed. I was in charge of the team. We had to go in, pick up parts from the dock, and we had to identify the parts for the 141. And unfortunately, if we seen any human remains or anything, we had to send it out. We come to find out a young gentleman that worked for me, his name was Frankie Walker, really good kid. He was killed in the crash. And today is still, you think about it, especially as of yesterday, Memorial Day, it just hits home. It's like, his family being taken away from him.
Thanks for joining us in our Soldier Salute, presented by Little Pig's Barbecue, serving Columbia since 1963 with that bodacious buffet. And Palmetto State Armory, American-made for life. And Franklin Equipment, rent, buy, rely. And Atkins Law Firm Workers' Comp Attorneys, who you hire matters.